Okay, hello guys, and welcome to today's scenario. Um, we will in today's scenario we will be seeing the end of World War V. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff planned. So, without any further ado, let's jump straight in. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about how this is actually a scenario where Operation Unthinkable was attempted and the Soviets won, then it just kind of butterflied away. This timeline is very unrealistic. Very, very unrealistic, but it's fun. So, by the way, I lost the progress that I'd made at the end of the last video, so I had to literally go to the video, scroll to the end, and then redraw the front lines. So the front lines are a little weird, but it does allow us to actually have borders back, because they got kind of wrecked last episode, and things started to get very ugly. So, that can go as well. So, let's jump straight into it. So, straight off the bat, we will see the Chinese managing to meet up with their Middle Eastern front and African fronts, and the Soviets will push back the Chinese in the north. North? I'll say it like that, in the north. They will then proceed to push the Colombians out of the Panama region and start to push into Colombia, as this is their new kind of like so basically the Chinese are very fixated on this whole front out here, and they kind of are starting to neglect other fronts, like this one. So, next up, we'll see the Chinese get pushed back a bit more here, but will start to push into Egypt, nearly capitulating the country. They will capitulate this Arab Republic. I can't even remember which ones they were now. I think that one was the Socialist, and that was the Democratic Arab Republic. So the Democratic Arab Republic will be capitulated. And they will then start to invade into the Syrian the Syrian Soviet Communist government and start to bring back the Chinese Communist government. And yeah. So this will lead to the Soviets absolutely pushing through South America, with it basically just being like the easiest thing that they've ever freaking done. Not had. Next, the Chinese will start a spearhead with the goal of cutting off this region from the Soviets, and this will go. Nothing will really happen except the spearhead will start to bulge, and I think no, they didn't actually. Nothing happened up here in the north. The Soviet Egypt government will capitulate, and Chinese forces will then start to liberate their puppet of Algeria. That's not Algeria though, is it? It's Libya. What am I on about? However, I can't actually remember what I called this. The West African Union will start to push back the Chinese over here. Ecuador and parts of Venezuela will rebel from Colombia, and the Soviets will push straight down the middle. Next up, the Soviets will connect with these two, making two large encirclements, all that is left of Colombia. This spearhead will start to advance, and this will lead to China starting to pull more troops off here to focus on spearheading straight out. This will lead to the Soviets pushing down the Chinese. However, the Chinese have also kind of lost the element of surprise with this spearhead. The Iraqi government will then start to push into Iran, and so will the Pakistan government to try and squish the Iranians out. Because then all they'd have to do is cut off this area, and then boom, this region entirely falls. So yeah, that's what happens. Not sure if anything actually changed. Oh, they capture Tunis over here, and they reinstate their governments in Iraq, Syria, and the coast, because this country does not have a name, because that would be freaking horrid with the comments. Jesus Christ, I've lost the ability to speak. Okay, and on to the next slide. Next up, we will see that what do you call it? China's spearhead will start to be put to action, cutting through. However, the Iraq government has already capitulated, and so China, I think they start to reimburse with troops, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, start to put more troops back over here. Libya will become freed, and meanwhile, Colombia will capitulate and Peru will revolt. The Soviets will push straight back into their once puppet government of Brazil, and the Circle Alliance will declare war on China. Not the Soviets, just China. And will start to push into them, trying to do something. Right? So yeah, that's bad. Well, bad for China at least. So then they will apparently just sort crap out with these dudes. Although I think they pushed them back. Yeah, they pushed them back. Oh, I hid the slide rather than put onto the next one. Okay. The Soviets managed to completely capitulate in managed to completely capitulate in South America. Wrong continent, Caleb. Big Fat Morocco will switch sides and will lead to the invasion of Soviet West Africa, which is about to die. And the spearhead will be very successful, cutting off Uzbekistan. The actual borders of India will start to be drawn up a bit. So this is Pakistan, this is Big Fat India, this is Iran, and this is Afghanistan. Yeah, I have no clue what the shit happened with Afghanistan, but we don't talk about that. Yeah. So, next up, we will see that I just hid the slide again. That the Chinese will capitulate the Uzbekistan region and will capitulate the Soviets in Africa, meaning that two full fronts have just closed down, and this very long front will be their only focusing point. So the Chinese, oh, that's it, as much as it needs. Okay then. The Chinese will start to push into not Middle East, the Anatolian Peninsula and the Caucasian region. And yeah, crap will happen. They will also start a pushback in the Vladivostok region. Next up, let's see. So these Kazakhstan regions rebel. The Chinese seize Azerbaijan and Georgia and Armenia, which is oil. Pretty much all of the Soviets' oil. Well, not pretty much all of it, but the main place where the Soviets get the oil. They then start to push into Turkey, and the front lines will start to freeze as millions of Soviet troops are shipped all the way back to fight on these fronts. And of course, they will have to take away for uh, reasons. Reasons unknown. So, okay, next up. Big fat event here. The Chinese will ignite literal black holes over Russian Soviet seas. So, over Berlin, which has been integrated into the Soviet Union, Paris, which has also been integrated into the Soviet Union, London, again, integrated into Soviet Union, Belgrade, which hasn't, Athens, which hasn't, Istanbul or Constantinople doesn't matter anymore because it's gone. Rome's gone, Madrid's gone, Kiev's gone, Moscow's gone, St. Petersburg's gone, Riga's gone, Helsinki's gone, Oslo's gone. And the first Stockholm just didn't get hit. We don't want to hit the Stockholm. Whatever the frick they did here and here and here was just for fun. They got one random one up here in Canada. Ottawa or no, Toronto. Something. Probably DC. No, DC's like down there. What the frick am I on about? New York? I have no clue. They just bombed that place because they bombed that place. They just bomb Florida because they don't want the Florida man to fight them. They then bomb here for some reason. They bomb Mexico City and San Francisco, except not San Francisco because they would have had to bomb there. But who cares about that? Yeah, they don't do anything else. But yeah, that was traumatic. And that will be kind of like dropping the nukes on Japan moment there. So they really will not like that. It will be the turning point in the war. China will start to win. So next up, the Chinese will push the Soviets miles back. A couple Chinese-backed uprisings will happen across Spain and Italy, regions that have been war-shocked. Turkey will capitulate. The Caspian Sea will be fully controlled by Chinese forces, and it looks like China is about to become victory. The Soviets make a massive push back. No, they don't. I just hid the bloody slide. The Chinese will start to push further into Russia. The Portuguese and Basque uprisings in Spain will be crushed along with this one and this one in Italy and Sicily. Because I don't know. Yeah, well, this is crap. So, next up, a whole bunch of countries will just turn or capitulate to the Chinese. This Circle Alliance just straight up's like, okay, we surrender to you, China. You're too bloody strong. The Canada America thing breaks 3 under China. And Mexico is, I don't know, at this point. Europe is just kind of waiting for the eventual heat death of their existence. It's a very slow push towards them, but they know it's coming. They know that they will die. They know that this is the end. Or is it? So, the Soviet sphere of influence will collapse, down to just this. This is all that will be left. However, a democratic government will rise out of the shadow of the Soviet sphere. And apparently they, for some reason, get Yugoslavia too, and who bloody cares why? The Americas will go democratic as well. The former superpower has returned. But that will have to do it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe, and the Soviets are still alive in the middle of frickin' nowhere. So, bye-bye. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed. I just said that. Yeah. Please subscribe. Goodbye. Goodbye. No, that's not it, is it? Goodbye.